Do you think they fought against him because of his image and his name and his background, or because of his message and
I,
his taxes?
I think it's a combination, right? I think it's a combination. I mean, Letitia James, when she was introducing him, I remember I was like, honestly, I was getting emotional as she was introducing him because the introduction she makes is they said he was too young. They said he was too inexperienced. They said that he didn't have the right name. And now I'm introducing to you the Democratic nominee for mayor of New York City.
Wow.
And I think about that, and it's like, look, subhanAllah, 20 years ago, right? Like post 9/11, could you imagine New York City having a Muslim mayor?
No, it's unimaginable.
Unimaginable, right?
Unimaginable.
Like, I mean, I just think about what that was 20 years ago to
Yeah.
where we are today, that the largest city in the country will have a Muslim mayor, inshallah. I mean, hopefully all goes well going into November. There's very small chance, that, something crazy happens, but assuming all goes well, and I mean, based on what the Mamdani team has done thus far, I think they're in good shape going into November. I think it's gonna be the first Muslim mayor of the largest city in America.
Uh, I think you could also say the two largest cities in the hemisphere, London and New York, because
Right?
London has
Sadiq Khan.
Sadiq Khan, who is of a Muslim background, Pakistani Muslim, and Mamdani is an East African, originally Indian.
Yes, East African, originally Indian. Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you actually tell our viewers a little bit about his background?
Yeah, so his family is actually Gujarati Indians, which is very uncommon. Were forced to move, sort of relocated to Uganda,
Hmm.
um, and that's where Mamdani was born. And it's fascinating. His parents sort of meet because his mom is like a film producer. His father sort of like learns about this film. His parents meet. I mean, it's his background I think is fascinating because it's also I made this tweet today and I heard this during our watch party. Republicans, if you think about what they used to say about Obama, right?
Hmm.
They're like, Obama is not born in America, right? He was born in Africa. Obama's a socialist. Obama's a Muslim.
Yeah,
Literally, Mamdani is a Muslim socialist who was born in Africa
yeah,
and is now actually the mayor of New York City. I just think it's incredible that like what they thought Obama was, this man
yeah.
is actually,
Actually,
and
is.
he won this race. Yeah.
Which means that mayor is going to be the ceiling for him because he can't be a governor or a president or senator or congressman, correct?
So he can do everything up to president. So he could be the senator of New York City one day. I
Okay,
mean, of
just
New
can't
York.
be president.
He can't be the president. Yeah.
Okay, can't be president, and of course can't be vice president.
Right.
All right, so all right, tell us more about him. What did he study? How old is he?
So he's 33 years old.
Okay.
I don't remember what he did as undergraduate in, but he went to Bowdoin College, and then he started working campaigns. So Ali Najmi, who spoke very briefly at the event last night,
Hmm.
um, you know, that's where he sort of got his start. He worked for this guy who was running for city council,
Hmm.
and and they've called this like a 10-year project, right? That for 10 years, Mamdani has sort of been in political organizing, in progressive campaigns, working towards like, building towards this bigger project. And the 10-year project ends with him being at the top, the king of New York City right now.
And tell me something. In the 4 months, what were the nodes that bumped him up and got him attention, let alone likability and voters? Because 4 months is such a small amount of time. So there had to have been some nodes, some major things that happened that bumped him up this way.
Yeah, I mean, I think the public financing was really big for him, like the incredible way that he raised money,
Hmm.
right, from everyday people. Like that was incredible what he did. His videos went extremely viral. I mean, this was someone that like showed up all over our feeds. I mean, I'm sure you saw him, you're just scrolling, like you would see a Mamdani video collaborated with Subway Takes, collaborating with, Pop Crave, collaborating with, models. Like this guy was literally everywhere. And so his social media team did an incredible job. And I think the icing on top was he did this walk from the top of Manhattan all the way down to the
Oh, he
Battery.
walked. Okay.
He walked. It was a 13-mile walk, right? And he literally like films the whole thing, sort of like lets people know like, hey, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna like walk down the entire city because like I'm a man of the people. And Dr. Shadi, what's so inspiring to me about that is literally 2 days before that, he talks about, he had done a video where he talks about, an assassination attempt, like people talking about trying to assassinate him. So some people, right, like people are going to offer, like, physically threaten your life. They sort of hide away, right? Like no one would have blamed him to say, look, you hired security detail, you should have hide away. But he is such a man of the people that like people are threatening his life. And he's like, you know what I'm going to do?
Mm,
I'm going to do a walk starting at 7 p.m. until 2 a.m. in the morning and walk in the streets of my city to let them know that this city belongs to us.
yeah, that's
I mean,
powerful.
subhanAllah, man. I
That's
mean, I
powerful.
just think that, he talks about this idea that like being a good Muslim is about being a good person.
Yeah.
And I think he really embodies that.
So people are wondering about his personal life and things. The way I look at it is that in the realm of politics, it's at the broadest level. That just to have somebody of an ethnic background with a Muslim name is going to be beneficial to regular Muslims. The world is going to see that these people have a place here, and that's my view of it. That's how I look at it. So I don't penetrate any more than that, and I don't expect any more than that, because some people in our chat are asking about like what are his Islamic positions. So my view of it is this: that I just look at it that you don't want to feel like an outsider in the country that you live in. One of the ways towards that is to have Muslim representation in these places, and as long as a person is, as you're saying, not oppressing, not selling out, I think is a big deal. Not selling out to oppression that we're seeing in Palestine and Gaza. Why don't you talk to us a bit about his stance there and how bold he was to talk about that? And I wonder if some of his advisors said to him, hold it up a little bit, tone it down a bit.
Yeah. I mean, look, I also will say this, my personal perspective on this is like, we don't expect politicians to be our leaders in our faith, right? Like that is not their job. They didn't sign up to be like a Qari or a sheikh or something. They signed up to be a politician, right? So
Hmm.
we should not be taking our Islamic principles from our politicians. That's why we have Islamic instructors. And I think that what he occupies is this sort of political arena where he changes what's okay and comfortable for us to say, right? And so on the Palestine issue, right? I mean, like, this is a guy who very openly said, if Netanyahu steps foot in New York City, I would have him arrested.
That's insane.
Said
That's
that openly,
amazing.
right?
That's amazing.
He is
That's
someone
amazing.
who,
I
on
would
stage,
love to see that actually happen.
well, and then he said on stage, he was like,
Yeah.
"Look, I believe Israel has a right to exist, but only as a right, well, to exist not as a Jewish state, but as a state with like equal rights for everybody."
Yeah.
Right? Has like,
Yeah.
doubled down on that position of like, look, like that is my position on this. When they asked him to condemn the state, like the statement, globalize the Intifada, I mean, he said, look, I think this means different things to different people. Right? And so like even people who said, oh, he shot himself in the foot, to your point, like he sort of was like, no, like, listen, I'm not here to police people's speech. Like they can sort of like, have this sort of position that they want to have. And so this is someone who has been extremely bold on this issue,
Yeah.
has been unapologetic on this issue, and I think is a huge win for our community,
Yeah.
right? To like think about, it used to be said, I mean, even to me, when I was before I announced my campaign for mayor, October 7th happened, and I had advisors who said to me, like, look, you went to Harvard, you beat cancer, you've been elected, like, just do not talk about Palestine. Right? Like that is sort of like the political wisdom around this country. That's what it was around Palestinian people, that they were a
Hmm.
liability. And Mamdani has literally showed like, no, it is a strength for me to show that I have a backbone, that I'm willing to stand for what I believe in, and that I'm willing to stand for humanity.